Pope Leo XIV has returned. After a summer of silence, reflection, and prayer, the Holy Father has once again stepped forward to speak to the world. And what he said in his first catechesis since the break has left a deep mark on many hearts. This was not just a speech, it was a gentle invitation. A spiritual call to begin again, not just as individuals but as one global family. Let's take you through the powerful and simple message from Pope Leo's catechesis, what he said, why it matters and how it might change your life today. The atmosphere was filled with joy and anticipation. Thousands gathered in St. Peter's Square. Some came with families, others came alone. Young and old stood together under the sun, waiting to hear from the Pope. As Pope Leo appeared in the Popemobile, smiling and waving, the entire square came alive with cheers. It wasn't just a leader returning, it felt like a father coming home to his children. But once he sat down, opened his notes, and began to speak, silence fell across the crowd. Everyone listened. His first words, "The Church needs to breathe again." Pope Leo began with a soft but firm voice. After a time of rest, the soul is ready to breathe again. He spoke of the summer break not just as a pause in activity, but as a time for deeper reflection. He said the Church is like a body, and every part of it, including each believer, needs to stop, rest, and then return with purpose. His words were simple but full of meaning. We live in a noisy world, a world that rushes from one thing to the next. But Pope Leo reminded everyone that true change, true peace, comes when we stop, breathe, and let God guide us. The theme of his catechesis, walking together again, this was the heart of his message, unity. Pope Leo said the Church must learn to walk together again. Not just leaders, not just priests or bishops, everyone, young people, families, the poor, the forgotten, even those who feel far from God. He looked up and said, "We are not saved alone, we are saved together." This was a call for unity. A reminder that in a divided world, the Church can be a place of healing and belonging. He invited people to stop judging and start listening, to stop shouting and start serving, to walk side by side even with those who think differently. A word to young people, you are not the future, you are the now. One of the most powerful moments came when he addressed the youth. With his eyes on the young people in the front rows, Pope Leo smiled and said, "You are not only the future of the Church, you are its present." He said that too often young people are told to wait, to grow up, to become ready. But the Pope reminded them, God is already working in them. He urged them to speak up, to pray, to act with courage and love. He told them not to be afraid to follow Christ, even when the world laughs or pushes back. Pope Leo did not ignore the pain in today's world. He spoke about war, about refugees, about families broken by violence or poverty. He mentioned the loneliness many people feel even inside their homes or churches. But he said something striking, do not look away from wounds. Go toward them, that is where Jesus is. This was a message of courage. He reminded everyone that the Church is not a club for the perfect. It is a hospital for the broken. And it must go where people are hurting. Not with fear, but with tenderness. Not with pride, but with service. The role of the Church after the break. Now that summer is over, Pope Leo said, the Church must return to its mission. He asked parishes to become homes of listening. He asked pastors to spend more time with people, not just in offices, but on the streets, in homes, in schools. He asked families to pray again, maybe just a short prayer before meals or at night. And he asked everyone, no matter who they are, to take one step closer to Jesus. We begin again, but not from zero. One of the most touching parts of the catechesis was this line, we begin again, but not from zero. We begin from love, from grace, from all the seeds planted in silence. This line moved many in the crowd to tears. It was a reminder that even if we feel we failed, even if we feel far from God, we don't have to start over. God has already planted something in us, and now is the time to water it. His final blessing, at the end, Pope Leo raised his hand to give the apostolic blessing. But before that he paused and said, let us walk together. And if you fall, I will wait for you. Because Christ always waits. At a time when many young people are feeling lost, anxious, or uncertain about their future, Pope Leo has delivered a powerful message that cuts through the noise. In his recent address to the youth gathered at a special Vatican event, Pope Leo looked out at the crowd of bright faces and said something that will echo for a long time. Do not be afraid to dream big. These words were not just a motivational phrase. They were a call to action, a challenge, a warm embrace from someone who truly believes in the potential of every young person. Pope Leo did not speak from a place of power, but from a place of deep love and understanding. He started by recognizing what many young people face today: pressure from society, confusion about identity, a world full of messages that are often contradictory and overwhelming. He said, "We are overwhelmed by messages that stir up a storm of contradictory emotions. These are not just words. They reflect the real struggles that so many people, especially the youth, go through in a world dominated by social media, stress, and constant comparison." But Pope Leo did not stop at describing the problem. He offered hope. He encouraged young people to silence the noise for a moment, to listen not to the voice of the world, but to the voice of the heart, the voice of God, the voice that whispers gently but clearly, "You are loved, you are not alone, and your life has meaning." Pope Leo reminded everyone that true joy is not found in likes, followers, or the approval of others. It is found in love, service, and the courage to follow one's vocation. Do not be afraid to live differently, he said. Do not be afraid to follow the call of Jesus. He spoke about the importance of listening to the Word of God, listening to the stories of others, listening to one's own inner voice. He said that in this modern world, everyone talks, but few truly listen. And that's where many of our problems begin. When we stop listening, we stop understanding. One of the most moving parts of his message came when he told the youth, "You are not the future of the church, you are the present." This is something that struck deeply with everyone present, because often young people are told to wait, to prepare, to be ready for some far-off role. But Pope Leo flipped that idea. He told them they matter now. Their voices, their talents, their dreams, they are needed today. He also reminded the crowd that Jesus himself was young when he began his mission, that many of the saints were teenagers or young adults when they answered God's call. He told them not to be discouraged by their age or lack of experience or doubts, because God works through the humble, the broken, and the brave. And then Pope Leo offered a challenge to the youth, a challenge to dream, but not just any dream. He said, "Dream of a world where no one is left behind. Dream of a world where kindness is more powerful than hate. Dream of a church that welcomes everyone with open arms." He asked the youth to be peacemakers in a world divided by war, to be bridge builders where others build walls, to be voices of unity in a time of division. And he made it clear this is not easy, but it is possible. Pope Leo also touched on the importance of community. He said that in a world full of loneliness, the church must be a family. He encouraged the youth to support one another, to pray together, to laugh together, and to walk together in faith. "No one walks alone," he said. "We are pilgrims together." Throughout his address, there was a deep warmth in his tone. He didn't speak like a leader above his people. He spoke like a father, like a friend, like someone who has walked this journey of faith and now wants to guide others with gentleness and strength. He even shared some personal reflections, how he sometimes felt unsure in his youth, how he made mistakes, how he learned to trust in God's mercy. And he said something beautiful. God is not a strict teacher with a red pen. He is a loving father with open arms. As the event went on, the mood in the crowd changed. Faces that were once serious lit up with hope. People leaned forward. They listened. Some even cried. Because they weren't just hearing words, they were feeling seen, known, and loved. Pope Leo ended his message with a blessing. But before that, he gave one final encouragement. The world tells you that success is power, fame, or wealth. But Jesus shows us that success is love, humility, and truth. Be successful in love. And then, as he extended his hands in blessing, The crowd erupted into applause, not just polite clapping, but a heartfelt response to a message that touched something deep. This was more than a speech, it was a moment of grace, a reminder that the Church is alive, that young people matter, that there is a place for everyone in God's plan. If you're a young person watching this, remember Pope Leo's words, "Do not be afraid to dream big. Your life has purpose. Your voice matters. And your dreams, when rooted in love and faith, can change the world." And if you're not so young anymore, his message still speaks to you. Because hope is not only for the young, it's for all of us. So today, let us take that message to heart. Let us dream. Let us love. Let us walk together.